Hey, what's up everybody? Danny Lightning here, and I'm finally getting around to making a Legends guide. Alright, I know a lot of you guys are probably waiting on this, so here we go. First thing you need to know about Legends is be patient. You're going to need to restore and upgrade most of these cars really heavily, pretty much almost max them out before you can finish the last Legends event. So expect this to take a long time. Alright, stay away from buying Legends crates, as people say they tend to give out lots of parts you don't want or need. So you get a lot of stuff for the cars you're not working on to complete these events. They also say restore the most expensive part first, and that will give you the best bang for your buck. So when you're restoring your cars, you'll notice some parts will take more tokens to restore than others. Always restore the ones that cost the most tokens first. Alright, so now let's get on to the actual racing events, and I'll tell you what cars you need for each of those and all that good stuff. Okay, so now you're going to have to earn Izzy's respect. Pick any good Tier 2 car and complete 4 races. Alright, you need to finish those 4 races with a final time of 13.4, and you should get a free Ferrari 250 GTO. Alright, after you get the 250 GTO, work on restoring that car completely. The next set of races will actually give you a bunch of components towards restoring that. Now you're going to want to focus on getting a few cars, so write this down. This is actually very important to use these cars. Alright, you're going to need the Boss Mustang 302. You can go into the dealership and buy that one fully restored, which is awesome. So go buy that. Next, you're going to want to buy the Aston Martin DB5, and you're going to work on fully restoring that one. After you fully restore the DB5, you're going to get the 300 SL and fully restore that. After you fully restore that, you're going to go buy the Corvette C3, restore that car completely, and then finally you're going to need the Lamborghini Countach. Alright? Get that guy restored completely. Now, if you happen to have the Ford GT40 Mark II, use that instead of the 300 SL. With the Ford events going on, I bet a lot of us have the GT40, and a lot of us probably haven't maxed out. So that's a lot easier to get parts for than a lot of these other cars. But these particular cars work really well for the Legends trials, because when you race the Legends events, you get parts to restore these particular cars, so you can usually restore these ones a lot faster than some of the others. That's why these particular cars have been chosen. Okay, now we're going to get to some of the actual racing events, and we're going to start the Restoration Rush. But first, at race 15 on the Restoration Rush, you'll see something pop up on your map called the Legends Trials. These events should pop up daily, and they're little 15 race events, and these will help you fully restore your car. So every day you can race these and get something like 1,000 tokens, I think it is, towards restoring a car. And it's best to only do one Legends car at a time, because anytime you do an event, if you have more than one Legends car being restored, it's going to split up those tokens between all your different Legends cars. So if you only have one in there, all the tokens will go towards that specific car only, and you can actually do your cars faster. Alright, so I would definitely only restore one Legends car at a time. Like I said, this is a very long and time-consuming process. Alright, so let's get back to the Restoration Rush event. So the Restoration Rush is just going to use the 250 GTO. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it's just the one car, and it's actually really easy to beat. Alright, after you finish the Restoration Rush, it gives you a whole lot of tokens towards restoring your 250 GTO, but not all of them, so you're going to have to do a bunch of those Legends trials every day to finish restoring it. Alright, you don't want to move on until you, well actually you can start on the next event. So you might want to take some notes on this. Alright, the next thing you want to do is go into the car dealership and buy the Ford Mustang Boss 302 and upgrade that as much as you can. This one comes fully restored, which is awesome. Alright, now you want to restore the Aston Martin DB5. So go buy that next, and don't buy anything else until you've fully restored the DB5. After that, you're going to want to restore the Mercedes 300 SL or the Ford GT40 Mark II. You're only going to need one of those two cars. Of course, the Ford GT40 Mark II is better, and like I think I said, you can get the Ford events are going on, so you can easily get parts for that car. So you might want to work on that instead of the 300 SL. Okay, so now we're going to start a Legends series called a Twin Test. you're going to use the 250 GTO and the Boss 302 Mustang for this one. And this event is actually really easy. So at this point, you're going to want to make sure your 250 GTO is completely restored, and you really want to have your DB5 and 300 SL completely restored as well, because pretty soon we're going to have to buy the Corvette C3. Alright, always remember, put all the stage 6 parts you get on these and fill them up with fusions as much as possible. Okay, now we're going to start a Legends racing series called Izzy's Exclamation. The first thing you need to lock in is the Mustang Boss 302, and then the DB5. You want to make sure the DB5 is fully restored at this point. And then lastly, we're going to lock in either the 300 SL or the Ford Mustang GT40, whichever one you have, and you're going to want to make sure that is also fully restored at this point, because the next thing you're going to need to do is get the Corvette C3 and work on restoring that. Alright, so those are the 3 cars you need for Izzy's Explanation. Lock them in that order, and it should be pretty easy as long as these cars are restored and you've got enough parts in them. Alright, so like I said, now it's time to go into the dealership and buy the Corvette C3 and start restoring that. Next, we start a Legends series called Restoring Faith. Here you should lock in the Mustang Boss 302 first, the DB5 second, the 300 SL or the GT40 third, and the Corvette C3 last. Alright, keep adding all the parts you get, stage 6 and fusions, to make these cars faster and faster. And I'm pretty sure you're going to need to have all of these cars completely restored before you can beat this Restoring Faith event. Alright, and before we move on to the next one, we're going to have to go buy the Lamborghini Countach. So now we're at the last and final Legends event, which is called Legends Never Die. And you're going to need the Lamborghini Countach for that, which means all your other cars are going to need to be fully restored before buying this. And you cannot buy the Countach until after you've beaten the Restoring Faith event, which is the event we just finished. Alright, so now go into the dealership, buy that Countach, and completely restore this. We're actually going to have to lock this one in first for the Legends Never Die event. Alright, so that's the first lock-in for that Legends Never Die. The second lock-in should be the Boss 302. The third lock-in should be the DB5, and the fourth lock-in should either be the 300 SL or the Ford GT40 Mark II. And lastly, you're going to lock in the Corvette C3. Alright, so that's going to use 5 cars in total, and you're going to need to have all of these cars completely restored and pretty close to maxed out to finally beat this last Legends event. So like I said, this is going to take a really long time. It's not a short process. It's a big old pain in the butt, guys, but you know, eventually you're going to get this. And after you beat the Legends Never Die race, you're going to be able to unlock the very last Legends car. That one you cannot unlock until you've beat Legends Never Die. Alright, so after that, there's no more events, but there's still a bunch of Legends cars. So at this point, all you're going to do is buy one Legends car at a time. Just completely run the Legends trials every day and save up parts to restore those. Once you finish restoring all the rest of the Legends cars, bam, there you go. You get the McLaren F1 or whatever it is. Alright, so that's pretty much the deal with that. That's my guide. Hopefully it helps. I know it's probably not the greatest guide, but it does tell you which cars they use for each event and gives you a guideline of what you need to do to complete those events. Alright, if you guys like my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.